What's up? So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a split screen so you can show you throwing darts and you playing darts. So if any of you at home want to start making dart videos while you're in quarantine, then I want to show you how to do it. So first off, let's have a look at the setup we've got going. So I've got a phone here. Hello camera. I've got a phone here which is recording me throwing. I've also got a phone here which is going to record the dartboard. So if I get that up, then I've got the camera, go to video, and then yeah, so you can zoom in and stuff, do whatever you want on the zoom. I'm just going to leave it like that. This is on a quite a decent tripod. This was like 40 quid off Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description. And then this as well is quite cool because it's got the little light on it. It connects via USB. So if you want a little bit more light, you can turn the light on. I probably won't need it for this video, but I often do use the light, and it just clamps onto the door. That's how I like to have it. And then yeah, so that's about it. Computer down here. I'll show you how to do the editing in a minute, but yeah, so first things first, let's just make sure that, yeah, so first thing to make sure is just to make sure that you're in this camera well, because obviously if you're not, it'll be rubbish. So let's record on this one, and let's record on this one. And then you want to sync the cameras up. So what I do is I just say camera sync up. That's all I do. So dartboard's there. Let's chuck a couple of darts, and yeah, it doesn't really matter where these go. Literally, it does not matter whatsoever. I'm just going to show you how it works. So there's 3 darts. Let's throw another 3, and then I'll show you how it works. Right, 3 more darts to throw. My arm aches actually. I played darts yesterday for ages. My arm is so sore. Anyway, that's that done. So you can stop recording on this. You can stop recording on this. And that is it. So we're going to go and plug all the phones into the computers, take the files off them, and I'll see you in there in just a second. Okay, so we're at our computer now, and we've got our 2 video files, the board cam and the throw cam. So if we chuck both these files into Sony Vegas. Now, Sony Vegas is an expensive piece of software. If you search enough, you will find how to get it for free. It's not difficult. So you can get Sony Vegas for free. I'm just not going to tell you how to do it because I don't want to get in trouble myself. But anyway, chuck these 2 files into your timeline. So this is your timeline. This is what shows what's going on. So we've got the 2 different files. Now obviously we want the files to play at the same time. If we play like this, it's going to play one file, then it's going to play the other file. So, and I've just realised my audio is off, so let me just turn that on just quickly. There we go. Okay, so stop recording on this. And so the 2 files are they need to be on top of each other basically. So if you click down here, you can add yourself an audio track and a video track. So the video track is what the video's on, the audio track is what the audio's on. So if we click and drag this, you need to make sure that they're lined up. There we go. So if we click and drag this, we've got 2 files now on top of each other. Okay, so then you want to make sure that you sync up the audio. So if we hit play, and then you want to sync the cameras up. So you can hear that the audio isn't perfectly synced up. So you can zoom in with a mouse scroll. That's the easy way to zoom in. And if you have a look at the sounds, you can kind of work out where the audio is on each piece. So and then you want to sync the cameras up. So now the audio is synced up. So the audio is now perfect. So what I do from here is I group the two files together. So if you click on one, then hold down Control, click on the next one, hold down Control, click on the next one, hold down Control, click on the next one, it then highlights them all. You can then right click on any of them and go to Group and then go to Create New. Now what this does is it means that you can't unsync them by accident, so they're always synced together. So after this, what you want to do is you want to trim it down to the point where you need to trim it down to. So if we go to the point where we are throwing darts, which is about here, it does not matter whatsoever, then we can hit right click on this area, then go trim start, so that will delete all of the stuff before it, and then we can go to where we want to stop recording. And we can go. That's that done. So about here, we can go click the end and go trim. What does it say there? It goes trim end. So that just takes the end off it. So now we've got these two video files that are perfectly synced up and perfectly trimmed down. So the next thing to do is to get into the split screen side of things. So if we have a look, there's a button here. It's a crop button. It says event pan / crop. Now, if you hit this button, it brings up this window, and you can crop the window to whatever size you want. Now, if we look up here, it shows the width and the height. Now, we don't want to mess with the height because the height is perfect. The height is going to be the height of the video, but we do want to mess with the width. We want the width to be half the size so we can split screen it properly. If you want to do a different ratio of split screen, then that's up to you, but I'm doing it half and half. So half the screen is the dartboard, half the screen is me throwing. So, down the side here, we've got some buttons. This one is lock aspect ratio, and this one is size about center. You need to make sure these are unclicked. If they're clicked, they're blue. If they're unclicked, they're not blue. So make sure they're unclicked or this won't work. So next you want to go into the width, and the width of this in pixels is 1920. Now if you click on it, you can change this. So the thing that you want to change it to is half of what it is. This may not be the pixels that shows on your video. It's all to do with the quality of the camera. I'm using a front-facing camera on one phone. I'm using a rear-facing camera on another phone. So the quality of cameras are very different, but when it comes to YouTube, it doesn't make a huge difference. But just bear that in mind. You want to turn this number into half of what this number is. If you need to get a calculator out, get a calculator out. It's no problem. But 1920, half of that would be 960. So if I hit that and then hit enter, this little area now, this little window shows half of the screen. So we can exit that, and we can now see this is half of the screen. The next thing we want to do is to do the same on the dartboard version of this. So this width here, there's none of these buttons are clicked. This width here is 3840. So half of 3840 is 1920. So if we put that in, hit enter, it will split the dartboard down to half. Now, if you want to play around with where this is centered, you can move this around. If you click on the area that you want to move, you can use the arrow keys or you can use the mouse. I prefer to use the arrow keys because then you don't lose the height. It's quite hard if you use the mouse to get the height perfect. So I want the dartboard pretty central. So I always find that this button, this little knob in the middle is always central. So I line that up with the bullseye and then you can't go wrong. So that's them both split up. That's them both cut into half. So it's half-size videos. And now what we want to do is we want to move those clips. So on the left here, we've got all of these little areas and stuff, little buttons here. These are the two videos, these are the two audios. Also, I like to turn the audio off on one of my videos. Whatever video has the best quality audio, I'll turn the audio off on the other one. So you can do that just by dragging this down, and it says -infinity. And this was the weaker camera audio, so the better camera is this one, and this is the audio that I'm going to be using for this video. But anyway, so this button here, this is track motion. It does a similar thing to the pan and crop from earlier. So if we click that, then it opens up this window. And on this window, you can move the video around. You can put it wherever you want. So what I like to do, again, is just use the arrow keys to move it. So I want this side on this side of the board. Use the arrow keys to move it, and then as soon as that black line going down the side here disappears, then you know that you're perfectly overlapped. And then you can exit that, and that's done. And then you do the same with the other one. So once you've done the other one, you move the arrow keys all the way to the other side, and then that is that. You sometimes will get a black line in the middle, but I actually don't mind that. I think it looks all right. But if you rather have the black line here, then put it there, or put it there. It doesn't matter. So once you've done this, if you hit play, you've now got a perfectly synced up dartboard and a thrower. So once you've done that, you can highlight the area that you want to render. So I always do this just to make sure. Sometimes you don't have to do this, but I find that it's a bit hit and miss. So I always highlight the area that I want to render. I will then click on this button up here, which is render as. And then if you wait for that to pop up, then this is what I do. So I've got filters on the video files that I like to use, but there's loads of different versions here. If you know video files, then you can pick a different version. I choose the Magic AVC AAC MP4, and you can render in 4K, you can render in 1080p, you can render in different frames, you can render in 720, you can render in Blu-rays. I will render in either 4K 60 frames, or I'll render in 1080p 60 frames. So for this video, we'll do it in 4K just to show you. So I will save this somewhere, and yeah. So if you click the browse button, then you can save it to wherever you want. This is my split screen folder where I've got the 2 board cams in it, and then you can call it whatever you want. You can call it final project. That will do. Save, and then render. And then this will render away, and it will, depending on how good your computer is and depending on how big of a file it is, this will take anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours. So if your computer's not great, this might take a little while, especially if you want to try and render at 4K. But you'll get there. Anyway, I will let this go. It's going to take probably a minute and a half. I'll let this do this, and then we will look at the final video together. Okay, so the render has complete. If we click open folder, then it'll show you your folder, and then this is the final project. Let's watch it and let's see what it looks like. It does not matter whatsoever. I'm just going to show you how it works. So there's 3 darts to throw, that was 3, and then I'll show you how it works. Right, 3 more darts to throw. My arm aches, actually. I played darts yesterday for ages. My arm's so sore. Anyway. And that's how you do it, guys. So if this has been helpful to you, then leave a like on it, subscribe if you're brand new. And also, if you've got any questions, if you're struggling with something, let me know in the comment section below, or you can message me on Twitter at the Darts Referee, or Instagram at the Darts Referee. Give me a message if you're struggling with something, and I'll try my best to help you through it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.